Earth 2, number 14, written by James Robinson, art by Nicholas Scott. So, last issue kind of felt like a weird little interstitial, but the primary thing that is to be focused on is the fact that they know the world as a whole knows that Steppenwolf is in this country of Durain, and everyone's about to attack. It's just prepping for war. So we pick up with a whole bunch of mech-looking, chicken leg robots outside of Durain. And the people inside are like, yeah, still nothing to report. Guess we are feeling pretty safe. I'm sure these people will wait years to attack to make sure that they're actually going to be able to do something. And then all of a sudden, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, and Flash run in. They're just like, all right, everybody, just fire. So immediately they start unloading on everybody. And we get some narration of them saying the stuff they were saying back at Alan Scott's apartment. And what it boils down to is, okay, here's the thing. I own a media network that is like Global Broadcasting Corporation. It can spin anything, but it could spin things a lot easier if we did something super awesome and cool. And Flash says, you want to go in along with the World Army and fight against Steppenwolf. And Green Lantern says, close but wrong. I want to go in before them and just clear the way for them. We ease up their defenses, the World Army's going to be thanking us for ages, and I could spin that like crazy. And they're like, yeah, no, that's a great idea. Let's do that. I mean, we might even be able to make it all the way to Steppenwolf. We're wonders after all. And Dr. Fate steps in being like, yeah, and I'm sure there's only going to be minimal deadly consequences. And Green Lantern looks and is like, Dr. Fate, that's a strangely odd sentiment to say. Do you want to maybe chime in with something you've seen in the future, maybe a little bit? And Dr. Fate says, this is a moment of crisis. It's a very big, bold moment. Anything is possible. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's go in there and do our best. And they say, yep, for sure. And Green Lantern says, and here's to teamwork. I just want to specifically note that because it's a stupid line. So we see deep inside Durain, Steppenwolf is being notified that, oh, hey, by the way, the World Army hasn't arrived yet, but we're being attacked by Wonders. And Steppenwolf's like, oh, well, yeah, of course they're going to try to attack me with Wonders again. Send in the hounds. And we see 3 shadowy figures all awaiting their release. So, cutting back to the fight, Green Lantern, Flash, and Dr. Fate have beaten up all the soldiers there and left them for dead. And Flash is like, I mean, I think this went pretty well. I think this is pretty good, guys, yeah? And Green Lantern's like, you think this went well? Look, this is war, Flash. That was just the first wave. We are nowhere near done. And on that cue, a whole bunch of soldiers with jetpacks and soldiers riding mechanized wild warthogs, and I mean actual animal warthogs, come riding in. But before they can do anything, they're immediately blasted by a giant laser and shot by a bunch of arrows and crushed by a huge fist. And our little gang is like, oh, we're not alone anymore, guys. And we see that Wesley Dodds and his Sandman, the Atom, and a new Archer character have all shown up. And Snipes is like, what are you doing? Or sorry, I say Dodds. Wesley Snipes is not a character in this book. Dodds says, what are you guys doing here? Do you have any idea how much you've ruined everything that we've been trying to do? So then we cut back to the World Army, and we see that they're flying in just a massive formation, and Commander Khan is talking to one of the generals named Foster, and they're just back and forth and saying yes, Commander Khan, you said that you wanted to take your time and not rush into this battle, but everybody else outvoted you. How are you feeling about joining in on this fight anyway? He's like, oh, it's part of my duty. I'm happy to join in and whatnot. And they're like, well, a lot of this stuff comes down to Sloan, Terry Sloan, and we know you're not exactly a big fan of his. You sure you're good with this? And we see Commander Khan say, yeah, no. It sucks that we're having to go along with Sloan's thing, but not, Terry Sloan's not the only genius that we have. And he turns around and we see Mr. Terrific, Earth Zero's Mr. Terrific is here. So, yeah, they're all flying in to meet that. Anyway, cut back to the battlefield, and Dodds is basically like, okay, look, I get it. we as the government have not treated you very well and you want to prove yourself, but like you are actually causing tons of problems here. And Flash is like, the big guy like torched my entire lawn. And he's like, shut up, I don't even care about you. Then we flash over to the new guy, the Arrow guy, and they're like, okay, who the hell is this guy? He's like, codename's Red Arrow. And it's like, okay, well, I'm the Flash, and I can run faster than you could ever possibly shoot your arrow, so sit your ass down. And Green Lantern senses the tensions are rising. He's like, all right, guys, hold on. You're right. We wanted to make an impression. If we're messing stuff up, we don't want that to happen. So how about we stick around, and as long as you don't try to arrest us or anything, we'll follow your lead. I'm sure you could use more power. And Dodds is like, all right, yeah, I'm good with that. But then all of a sudden, one of his Sandmen just explode via some heat vision, and we see that the hounds that Steppenwolf called in earlier have arrived, and they're just flying over top of them, saying like, oh, you're walking into the gates of hell, and we're here to escort you. So, yep, that's happening. It's a fine enough. Like it feels like just sort of a pacer issue. And last issue was just an interstitial more than anything else. This one just feels like we're beginning the war. We're starting off on this big thing. There's no reason we have to jump in with both feet. We're just going to take it slow. World Army's not even here yet, and we're just going to show how do these different parts line up. I'm intrigued. I think that that's a good intro to an arc. That being said, it is very slow to the point where the fight scenes in this issue are actually all around pretty boring because there is no intensity to them. There doesn't feel like there's any sort of issue with it. It's everyone just talking at each other. With that being said, I like them talking with Sandmen and all that. That's interesting. I'm super down on that. On the flip side, Commander Khan just talking at screens to his generals repeatedly over the 14 issues of this book is getting real damn boring. They need to do something more interesting with his character. I don't care what, but something has to change. Maybe Miss Terrific showing up is going to be it. I don't know. I'm up for it. Michael Holt's a good addition here to the cast. I want to see what he does, but doesn't fix Commander Khan's immediate problem of stop talking to screens. So overall, fine issue. I'll give it a... I'll give it a 6.5, but it's real close to that 7. It's like right on the edge. I just don't feel right giving it the 7 for what it is in terms of structurally as an issue. So 6.5, tune in for the continuation of this, I'm sure, many issue lasting war.